Got the win there, pretty emphatic style.
Yeah, look, I think in large parts we dictated play and dominated possession. That's what we work towards every week. So showed a bit of a cutting edge there as well, which was nice, which I would have loved to have seen a couple of weeks ago. But nevertheless, we move on and hopefully continue those sort of performances.
What do you think the decision with Glenorchy obviously not being reappointed? Do you have any comments on that decision?
Oh, look, I would have loved to have seen them retain their spot. They're a proud club, proud history, and things like results can get turned around fairly quickly. So we were disappointed to see them go. But the decision's been made. It's out of our hands. So.
And make a bit of the Eastern Shore derby for next year.
Is it an Eastern Shore club that came in?
Yes, it was.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. No, we're looking forward to those sort of matches. I'm sure it'll, a lot of banter will occur in the lead up to that game, so we'll talk about that next year.
Yeah, all right. And moving forward, what do you think the chances are that Rangers can do you a favour? I suppose you're only there to draw with the goal difference.
Oh, look, we're obviously hoping. Rangers are a good club. South Hobart have got it all to do. They've obviously had a busy week, so it's going to be very interesting, and obviously we'll be watching with keen interest.
And Takiris has obviously popped up with 4, again today. Happy with his improvement in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, sure, and he's responded in the right way, and that's by scoring goals. Obviously he was disappointed not to play in the South game, but he certainly responded positively, and that's what we would ask of any player who's looking to really change their starting line.
All right, thanks, that, Glen.
All right, thank you.
Mark, first of all, let us know your thoughts on the game.
Thoughts that it's a big level, a big league, it's a good team. Could have been a lot more. I'd like to, I'll tell you, if there's those vultures out there who are sniffing around for players, Alex Woodham in goal, mate. Without him, just would have been just like the cricket last night in the Ashes. It would have been devastating. He's marvellous in goals. Jade Clay, wow, another one in the middle of the park that if he had have had another young lad in there around the same age as the rest of them, long road, long season.
Yeah, I think he only got 1 shot on target for the game. Obviously, that's disappointing.
No, we train 2 nights a week and we look forward, we do all our pre-season to make sure we get 1 shot a game on target and hopefully we can win a game 1-0. It's just unfortunate we come across teams like Olympia who get 12, 13 and 14 on target, and it's not enough.
And moving on to the decision, obviously not going to be in the Victory League for this season. Let us know your thoughts and the clubs as well.
Not quite sure about the clubs. I've got to sit down with the committee. Obviously, overall supporters from the past decades and the past players and the Croatia community devastated. First time that the club's not been in the top flight in its history. Unfortunately, that I'm the coach and it makes me look like the bad boy. But when you're going out to war in a season, you can't win a championship. You can't win the war with a bunch of cadets. But they're not happy with going down to the championship. My personal opinion is looking at what we've got out there and we're competing. It would be nice to have a few more stabilised players like your Jay Clays out there who put in at 100%, but at least it's given the depth for the club, for the players for future years. And I suppose if we've got to play championships, they're the cards have been dealt. We will play championships to the best of our ability, and believe you me, the lads that we come up against and the teams we come up against next year won't have it as easy as what they've had it this year in the championship, because we'll be right there giving them a rattle. And the FFA Cup and more importantly the Lacquer Cup is definitely on our target and scope. So the V League lads for next year can't afford to get a little bit complacent about going through those competitions without any challenges, because we're definitely going to make sure that we stick our heads up from the lower level and just make sure that they know we still are here. We're a real rebuild for 3 years. and we won't come up with a single barrel shotgun. We'll come up with a double.
Yeah, and you were talking about getting some players in. Where does that leave you now? Are you still guys looking to bring them in for the Southern?
No. Why would you? No, we've got enough players over the last 3 or 4 days that are of quality, that are coming from clubs that haven't been given chances in the V-League this year. They've been a little bit disgruntled with certain coaches from around the traps in the V-League environment. I think they've thrown the nana in with making the efforts at the moment, and they want to step down and play in a championship and spend more time committed to work and family instead of putting it out there and spending the time and not being given the opportunity. We'll soak them up. We'll definitely utilise their experiences and still have these lads around those players, and we've got 3 years. 3 years to sharpen our knives before we start sticking in the clubs in 3 years' time.
Will you be coaching Knights next year in the Southern Championship? Is it your intention to? Like, do you want to?
My intention is, if it was offered, I would definitely sit down and consider it. And I think I mentioned this to Walter a couple of media releases ago. He said, would you walk away and not show any interest? No, I wouldn't. However, if there was an opportunity, and I would say a non-V-League club, if there was an opportunity elsewhere, I would consider that as well. But no, I wouldn't go into a V-League club. And even if I was offered a V-League role or anywhere in that technical development capacity, I'd decline it, and I'd stay with the Knights. Why? Spent 12 months with these, 6 months with these young lads, building up some sort of understanding, and there is some understanding out there. I'm not going to walk away from the hard work I've put in so far and not see a little bit of colour on the paper.
So the club still needs to approach you in relation to offering you a position for next year?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if there's any other coaches out there that think that they could come and guide these young lads in a better avenue, please come and shove your name in the hat and take a bingo ticket, because I'm pretty sure the club would have a look at it. It's not a closed book just because I'm here now. No, absolutely not. Whoever takes over the role next, if it's me or if it's somebody else, they've got a good foundation to build their house. There is no doubt about that.
How's the players taken the news in the past week?
They're shattered. They understand. They've come out of the under-20s age bracket from last year where, 90% of them, 95% of them, where the mentality was kind of like a social environment, if I can say that, without being rude. And now they've gone through a pre-season where, for my standards, I will class it as mediocre. It's not what I'm used to. And the training intensity on a weekly basis is not at a high intensity standard that I'm used to as a coach, and I've addressed that on a weekly basis, 7 or 8, 9, 10 times a week. And it's very hard for these guys to break their moulds to get into that because of their future, their past. However, they're now starting to see with the results and the way they're feeling mentally and emotionally that a good pre-season, a good mental understanding of what needs to be delivered on a training park, intensity-wise, you've got to have that to compete against the Olympias. They play some very basic football, but their technical ability to be able to distribute and wall pass and overlap is something that comes with experience and dedication to want to push for a position. We, at the current stage, haven't got those sort of numbers of quality to push players heavily for positions, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and has any players indicated that they're going to be looking for a V-League club for next year at the moment?
No. I can expect that there will be a couple of leavers, and I have spoken to a couple that we're going off the Croatian tournament, end of September, where you're going to come up against 50 odd clubs. I have got 2 players there, an Aaron Wilson and a Phil Kansas, that I've already spoken to mainland coaches about. So when we go to the Croatian tournament, Croatia 58 was one of the clubs I spoke to, the coach there and the president there, to at least have a look at those 2 lads. I would like to see them be handballed, especially at their age bracket, and with some of those individual skills and qualities they do have, to be at least tried on the mainland. If they don't make the level, they can get the feedback of what they need to develop. And if they come back to me, we'll work on that development. If not, well, good luck to the next coach who keeps hold of them, and as long as they do the right thing, because they are our future.